Hey everyone, we're back at PGC Connect London 2023. I'm Chris from HyprMX and we're joined today by Marilyne from Socialpoint.
Hey,
Welcome.
thanks. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, maybe I know that you're a part of the product marketing team at Socialpoint. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about your previous experiences and what you're working on at Socialpoint these days.
Yeah, definitely. So I started 6 or 7 years ago now. In a startup in Amsterdam, basically working on indie developers, indie publishers, and some big manufacturers. And then I moved to the opposite, so like Ubisoft Mobile, like a bigger company, running as well there product marketing, so with branding, so acquisition, with the influencer team as well. So learned a lot there, and then moved my way to Socialpoint in Barcelona. So now there I'm a product marketer. What it means more or less is working on the marketing strategy with the different teams.
Mhm. Awesome. So as an ad network, we work very closely with ad monetization teams within publishers like Socialpoint. Um, as as a part of product marketing, are you focused on user acquisition, actually running user acquisition campaigns? Is it more just the creative, or is it a combination of all of that?
That's a great question actually, because product marketing it has a different meaning depending on the companies. So for us, we're still heavily based on user acquisition, especially so I'm working on social changes. Being discussion with the specific the companies managers, with the user acquisition specialists, with the creative. So basically, we do everything and coordinating the teams to hit the target. So right now, to answer your question, it's heavily user acquisition and creative.
Okay, awesome. So, are there specific titles that you are focused on? I know, like Dragon City and Monster Legends are always the big titles for Socialpoint. Like, are you continuing to focus on that in 2023, or can you give us a little insight into what's coming down the pipe?
Yeah, so I'm working on we're basically organized with squads. So we have a squad made over the job positions, including marketing, administration, marketing for each of the games. So we have one squad for Dragon City, one squad for Legends, and one squad for the games, which I'm part of. So actually, yeah, the idea is to having a new game for us every year. So exciting.
Cool, cool. And how closely do you interact or work with the product teams internally? Because I can imagine, like I know that the ad monetization teams work very closely with product, to make sure the changes that they're making to try to increase ad revenue isn't impacting user experience. So how do you guys work with the product teams from a UA perspective?
Yeah, good question. So I think something I really liked something that we're already embracing the technology. That helps a lot. So we can see together and we're very much on a day-to-day communication basis. So which one about because what we see is that one obviously impacts the other one, right?
Yeah.
And then it's also what happened is that you see the impact directly. So you always want to make sure to have selected events, for example, which I do when we bring version marketing and on the product side. So again, we kind of go in the same direction. Then we don't have easy space sometimes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we make sure that we keep this communication and I'll say, okay, we're going to put your partner, how much does it work? You want to, increase your volumes and you want to maybe impact on the KPIs. So that everybody is kind of very aligned on how things are going to go. Or sometimes happen for us that you have an ad that's working really well, maybe a bit aspirational, and then you see a direct impact on retention. So you, again, give a heads up to the product team so that they don't freak out.
Right.
I know a problem coming from products, maybe a bit of our fault, or vice versa. There's like a brand saying again, we're like, okay, what's happening? The host in the company is awful.
Yeah.
From when it's Cool.
Yeah, I think it's important to have that natural tension between some of these teams internally, so you make sure that you're actually putting out the best product and actually like promoting it in the best way. And you mentioned aspirational ads, and one of the things I've noticed when I'm playing a lot of mobile games is that you see these ads that I know don't reflect the actual gameplay of the game. So like, what are your how do you feel about those types of ads as as a marketer or as a user acquisition specialist?
I see it as an opportunity, but I see it as, again, you need to be smart about it. So I think it really depends on the game, right? What's the business model? If you're a hyper-casual game or a casual game, or just a game that most of the business model is going to be based on ads, then yes, right? Like, it makes sense to attract as many people inside the game to have more revenue through the ads. So it makes sense. If you're more of a hardcore game, it might not work because then it's going to have a direct impact. People are going to come see an ad that doesn't look anything like the app store, come to the app store and just join. So it might not work. Or they come inside the game and it's going to, launch basically the intention of the game.
Mm-hmm.
We've been experimenting on this because at the end of the day, media costs being what they are, you need to be competitive. So what we're looking at is finding the right balance, right? So not creating fake ads, but what we call more aspirational ads, which is still having a good core mechanic of the game, but maybe making it a bit more intuitive, like a bit shinier. It's still having the core mechanics, or finding the right balance between like a really catchy intro and then having some gameplay footage in it, but maybe not like 100% of gameplay footage. I think there's one trend that's very interesting and got me thinking a lot recently is, so you have like some games like Final Legends or either that one is like evil RPG games.
Mm-hmm.
So not like the classic traditional RPG where it's a bit maybe not for everybody, maybe a bit more accessible. And what they've been doing is pretty much taking from the top download ranks, what were like the top hyper casual games and what were like the top mechanics, basically very trendy mechanics, and then taking those mechanics, rebranding the all video ads with those mechanics, rebranding the whole app store, the icon, changing the app title, and getting a maximum of people inside the game. So again, and it seems to be working for some of them.
But the games themselves, do they actually have those mechanics or no?
So they include some of them inside the FTV. Yes. So
Okay.
it's like a full project for the game to scale.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's a little RPG. So at the end of the day, it's still accessible. But I think that's going to come more and more. If people want to scale and get to like another level, I'm pretty sure more and more games are going to do it. And actually, I believe that AFK Arena is now including some mini games and using those mini games on the user acquisition front. So it's not part of the core gameplay. It's still finding inside the game. Okay,
so it's not like, I guess, historically we have seen some ads that get super aggressive where what they're promoting isn't actually in the game. What you're saying is that there's this blend of like looking at mechanics that are working in the app stores and kind of incorporating them as like mini games within the larger game itself and using that to promote the game.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah. How do you tap into audiences, right? Or once you reach like your goal target.
Right.
Again, if you want to get bigger or having more revenues from ads, it could make sense. But you need to do it the right way. And I think obviously most people are not doing the full effort, like they just create fake ads. There's also a clear ethics. I think I've seen many ads that ethically, I wouldn't go for it, obviously, if it's sexist or, I've seen everything.
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot on, on blog posts and LinkedIn posts about, sexist ads and ethical ads. And so like, are you seeing it more and more within the industry that companies are calling out other companies, or internally like UA manager being like, why are you running this? Or this is like, it just seems super aggressive and not acceptable,
I'm seeing some companies taking this stand, and yeah, some people are taking this stand, which is great. And I think people are still going to go for it as long as it works. At the same time, like we can't be too naive about it. If it works, unfortunately, I think people are going to go for it. Then you can come maybe to the partners, maybe some networks that would say and put limits on it. You know, being like this is not compliant with our policy. You can't just put those ads on your network.
Right. So for 2023, we're starting off a new year. What do you see for UA trends this year? Like, do you see any big new things that will work or things that you're excited to test?
Yeah, well, basically, again, kind of continuing between the balance between the video ads and the creators. I think kind of testing on professional DTC. I think it's going to be really interesting to see writers and having things like that instead of everything on the app store. Applications of networks, also some networks that are becoming stronger, right? Let's see what happens as well with like the TikTok games and Netflix games. I'm looking forward to it. Apart from that, yeah, I would say that overall testing different models. It's something that's more and more out there. So now we'll have ads and in-app purchases. Subscriptions are growing as well. So for us on the user acquisition, well, it's going to be potentially again a bigger LTV. So it's going to be interesting to see how do we implement that. Like, which type of events do we implement instead of campaigns to make it work best? Which events work best for the highest levels?
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for coming and joining us today. It was awesome to kind of learn a little bit more about what product marketing does.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for inviting me again. It was great.
Thank you.